This video is brought to you by Longoni Cues.
Hi pool players, it's the Terminator. Welcome back to another episode of Terminator Tips. In this lesson it's time to work on a new drill, and I've prepared a couple of great layouts for you divided into 5 different lessons. This one is part 1. This drill involves only 2 balls, a ball on the spot on each side of the table. We're going to build it up nice and easy. There's going to be 3 variations: beginner to intermediate, intermediate, and then advanced. So there's going to be something here for everyone. Let's jump onto my Pro Start table now and show you how this is done. Alright, so here we have it. There's a ball on this spot and there's one on that spot. That's all it is. But we're going to increase the difficulty. All you need to do is go back and forth from this one to that one, like the yo-yo drill. Just back and forth, or up and down, whatever you want to call it. The first variation, you can do whatever you want. You can pocket balls in this pocket, that pocket. The 6 can go in this one or that one. You're just not allowed to pocket balls in the side pocket. Now, I'm going to show you a bunch of shots that can come up that you need to master, because this drill is very good for beginner players to learn ball pocketing skills. They're going to learn direction, speed control, little bit of English, mostly roll shots, some draw shots when it gets tougher. But this is a really good ball pocketing drill to build your game up. Now, let's go over a couple of shots. Because you can start with ball in hand wherever you like, a great opening shot would be to start somewhere here. If you see my previous videos of coming into the line of position for your highest chance to get great position on your next shot, and shooting perhaps with a roll shot, this could be a great example. Going 1 rail, 2 rails, and from here on we're coming into the line of position for the 6. You don't need any English on this, just a high ball, and once it hits that second rail, watch this, it just wants to go on this same path, and that's high percentage position play. That's the first shot you can master. That actually leaves us a great angle for the second example shot. It's always very handy to keep yourself above the spot shot, because that means that you can come off this rail and play position for balls down table here. But for this drill you can do whatever you like. But now I'm going to go with stun, hit this rail and stay above the 14, and after that I can go a couple of rails around to come back. So this is just a stun shot. I want to hit this with 1 tip of left, a little helping English. You don't have to, but it's going to travel slightly more towards the 14. Just nice and easy like that. I'm staying above this 14, and now I have a great angle. Here's a third shot that's really handy to master. Let's say you're coming under this straight in line again, and this time you don't fancy going 2 rails, perhaps in a game of 8 ball. There's some balls here, you can't go off the rail. It's a good nifty trick to be able to draw 3 rails around. So low left this time. You need the left to accelerate through the first, second, and third rail. Here it comes. And that way we're coming bouncing off that third rail for another shot on the spot shot. Our fourth shot is a classic. We're going to go 2 rails, and as a guiding line or guiding star, if the cue ball is parallel to this line from this first diamond to that first diamond, if it's inside that line, it's a good option to go for the 2 railer, even from here. So anywhere inside this line, that is your go-to shot. I'm going to do the other one next, but let's say it's over here. You can choose to shoot this with a tip of right spin if you like, or without spins, personal preference. I'm doing without now. And you see when it's coming off that second rail, you're coming into the line for your next spot shot, and that is high percentage position play. Shot number 5, when my cue ball is on this line, like we just spoke about, it's right on that line. It's going to be harder and harder to come and hit this second rail. We're going to need more and more spin. So it's going to be more difficult, especially maybe if the balls are slick, new cloth, very hard to do. That's why this time I'm not using any spin. I'm just going one rail up and down like that. You're not coming into the line, so the shot is a bit trickier speed-wise, and that's why this is great practice. So for the next shot, now we're on the inside of that line. So we're coming straighter and straighter in. Now it's a good chance to hit the rail and come to the other side of the spot shot. So still the same thing. You're learning direction and position play. Same thing, but now I'm crossing over to the other side. And you see, now I'm actually on that two-railer position route again. And let's say I'm even closer to that side pocket or to that side rail, getting more straight in. Now I can opt to use one tip of inside spin, left spin in this case, to go two rails again. Watch what's going to happen. I'm going to touch that second rail and I'm coming into the line of position. I'm showing you all these classic examples that you need to work on, put in your bag of tricks. I should be able to wake you up in the middle of the night and say to you, shot number 3 there, shot 4, 5, 6, and you got to be able to execute them. And when the cue ball is really getting close, so almost straight in, then you can go naturally forward 2 rails like this. No spin, or your choice, you can also draw the ball back to come to this side again. Bit more angle, but you see both options can work nice to give yourself a good angle for the next shot. So for this first variation of the drill, like I said, you can do whatever you like, and I have a little demonstration of what that looks like right here. Now when you feel you can do 10s and 20s of that, then the second version, we're going to draw a line in the middle of the table and you cannot cross that line. So every ball needs to be pocketed and the cue ball can go 1 or 2 rails, whatever you like, but it cannot pass the middle of the table. And for the second variation of this drill, we also need to stay on one side of the table. So you're also not allowed to cross over with the cue ball to that side. That sounds really difficult, but actually it's very logic and natural to go for these 2 railers, 1 railer, perhaps draw it a little bit. if needed when you come close to here, but it's very natural to keep doing those 1 and 2 railers. Try to run some balls like that. And that's going to look something like this. Now again, if you can do 10s and 20s with that one, now you're ready to go to variation number 3 and 4. Variation 3 is the same as the first one. There's no middle line. You can do with the cue ball whatever you like, but you have to pocket 2 balls in these pockets. So the 3 goes there, then the 8 goes there, and after that shot, you have to pocket 2 balls in this pocket. So you have to be smart with your position play from the first ball to the second one, because once you're on this 8, now when you pocket that there, you have to come into this side of the table, here, for 2 shots. And then you have to cross over again to that side of the table. Very powerful drill. That is for the intermediate to advanced players. And then for the final version for the advanced players, we're going to do that same thing. 2 balls here, 2 balls here, plus the middle line. So you have to keep the cue ball in front of that middle of the table. You're going to learn 2 more powerful shots in this 4th variation, because if you can't get over this line, you need to work on that power draw to cross over back into this side and your inside spin perhaps going 3 reels. It's going to look something like this. So let's say we end up somewhere over here on our second shot. Now after that one we have to cross back over into the other area. So low right. Gotta power draw that ball to the other side of the table. Now you can do a 2 railer again. And then if you end up somewhere here, you got to do that low left again perhaps and draw back into the other zone. Power strokes, and here's the second shot that you're going to learn. It could be that you rather fancy a 3 railer with inside if you have a nice low deflection shaft, like myself with the Luna Nera on my Longoni Flames cue. There it goes, through the corner, low right, hitting that 3rd rail. Optimal position now to continue the run. And here's a small demonstration of what that drill is going to look like for you. work on this, pool players. Only 2 balls on the table and just a ton of shots that you're gonna learn. You're gonna work on your stroke, shot making, position play, understanding routes, your touch, focus, the whole works with just 2 balls on the table. How cool is that? Let me know in the comments how it's going for you, and I'm gonna continue hitting some balls myself. There you go, pool fans. This was part 1 of the series. Stay tuned for the next one. Once it's available, I'll put it right here on the side for you to watch. Feel free to browse around on the channel. There's playlists full of drills and subjects for everybody. And remember, if you're finally ready to work on the most important part of your game, the mental side, head over to the Terminator College and check out the courses that I have there for you. I'll see you in the next lesson.